Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 4, Burton Albion 1. The hilarious thing, if you were watching the watch along, was me blaming Romero for the last minute goal that Burton scored, saying he couldn't catch a balloon. I told you so, I told you so. And then realising we'd subbed him off and put Pereira on. Another L for me. But in all seriousness, masterclass by Martial. I mean, we normally talk about the man of the match. I'm talking Granville. We normally talk about the man of the match towards the end of the show because you know, there's lots and lots to talk about, as there is for this one. But there's only one place to start. It has to be Anthony Martial. I mean, I don't make any secrets or bones about it. I love Anthony Martial. I think he's a fantastic player. And as I was saying in the watch along, I sort of don't understand why he had the season he had last season, where, you know, first season brilliant, second season under Mourinho, you know, Lingard's getting picked above him. This season, flawless. Flawless was the word I used about Martial so much in that game today, because it's not just about the goal, which was fantastic. He did miss a few chances as well. He was quite unlucky with a few. He could have had a hat-trick easily. But his build-up play was fantastic, and as much as he deserved a goal tonight, I wouldn't have been bothered if he hadn't scored a goal, and I don't think Mourinho would have done either, because the impressive thing about Martial tonight was, look at the third goal, goes past the player, falls over, but gets up quick, wins it back, little bit of skill, rolls his foot, puts Lingard in 3-0. That bit of skill in the second half where he rolled his feet, I mean, Messi would have been proud of it if that had gone in. He was superb today, Martial. If I was marking him out of 10, I'd probably give him a 9, because he should have scored 2 more goals than he did, and then it would have been the perfect 10. He was amazing, and he is a Manchester United player. I mean, Sean Atwood's just made a contribution and says Joel Pereira will never be Premier League quality, never mind United. Well, it's a clanger tonight, to be fair, wasn't it? But he's a young lad, and Mourinho thinks highly of him. But back to Martial, he was fantastic tonight, and he is this player that I was talking about last season, and many of you were as well. He should never be allowed to leave Manchester United. He is a top talent, and he can be anything he wants to be. He could be a Ballon d'Or winner. He could be one of the top 10 players in the world. He is amazing on his day, and he is learning very fast, and he's so young as well. I always hated it last season when everyone used to say he looks moody and disinterested. He's clearly quite an introverted, bit of maybe slightly shy lad, but when he expresses himself on a football pitch, there's nobody better in our squad. He's our best flair player, and flair for me is somebody who can get the ball and do something special, run at people. Pogba's a close second, and Rashford third. And Rashford got 2 goals tonight as well. I don't want to disrespect Rashford at all, because Rocket Rashford, forget Kim Jong-un or whatever his name is in North Korea and Donald Trump. Rashford's the rocket man tonight. That second goal was a rocket. He went a bit quiet after that. Hoped he would have got a hat-trick. But a lot of people moaning about Luke Shaw. I thought the use of Luke Shaw was spot on. Gave him a whole half. Luke Shaw, it's not about his ability. It's about whether he can stay fit. And I totally agree with Mourinho. I wanted him to start, but I would have probably took him at half-time. Used him for the second half. With Luke Shaw, it's about keeping him fit for as long as possible and not chucking him in at the deep end. I don't think we'll see Luke Shaw play for United again, probably till after the international break now. But if he's training with the first team and staying fit, that's the most important thing for Shaw. Let's build him back in, because he'll be a major asset down the left-hand side. Lindelof's a talking point. I know a lot of people are talking about it. Flop Lindelof, this, that and the other. Look, all I'd say about Lindelof is hang in there. Mkhitaryan didn't start that well at United, and Lindelof may well be the same. Vidic didn't start well at United as a centre-back. I've seen Lindelof play for Sweden and Benfica, and albeit the Portuguese league is a bit dodgy, I've seen him playing in Europe as well. He's a good centre-back. He is struggling at United, and that is why Mourinho is using him sparingly. He doesn't look very strong. He's got no confidence in his passing play. He's terrible under the high ball. At the moment, he's not playing very well. But I'm not throwing him under a bus and saying he's going to be a flop, because that is a mistake that many of us have made with Mourinho in the past. And he's a £30 million defender. There is no way Mourinho is going to throw £30 million down the drain without giving it a good effort. And as I said before, if Lindelof was a flop, 1 flop out of 7 signings, you name me another manager who's made 6 signings that work, and they have worked with Mourinho. So Lindelof, give him time. Darmian was the worst player on the pitch as far as I was concerned. He must have jet lag again, because he was being sent back to Italy by that left winger for Burton so many times. Not good by Darmian, not good at all. I don't really want Darmian playing anywhere near the first team at the moment. We've got cover on the right with Young, and we've got Blind and hopefully Shaw, who can play on the left. Herrera was very impressive. I want to put a disclaimer out there that that was Burton Albion's second team as well. They did make 9 changes from the weekend, but so did we. And we probably only ever played in 4th gear, apart from Martial, who really did take it seriously. But Herrera got 90 minutes on his legs. Carrick got a bit of game time. Smalling as well. Lingard was out. You know, Lingard was playing at a championship level quite well. Maybe Lingard is a championship player, but maybe Lingard's a squad player, and I'm more than happy to have Lingard on our bench. He gets what United are about. He puts a lot of effort in. And I tell you what, that first half, let me just say, Mata behind Lingard, Rashford and Martial was so exciting. I love Mata when he plays well as a number 10, and today he was fantastic. He would have been probably man of the match if he hadn't gone off at half time. He was certainly man of the first half, and then Martial, because he played the full game, just took on that mantle. But yeah, Mata behind those 3 was so exciting, and you know, how have we got to this point so quickly? Well done to Mourinho. I know we've got Lukaku as well and Mkhitaryan, but you know, I think back to last season with Zlatan and that lack of pace up front, and the seasons before with Van Gaal, where, you know, we did well, we got a nosebleed if we went past the halfway line, and now we've got this vibrant, young, fast attacking front line with number 10s like Mata and Mkhitaryan behind them looking to find the passes. Real joy to watch. Really enjoyed it. And, you know, it was Burton in the League Cup, and I want to bring that in as well. If you look around tonight, there's a lot of clubs using a few young players, a lot of reserves, etc. That pretty much is our reserves. It's just, that just shows you the squad depth. And yeah, McTominay was the only youth player, and yes, it would have been nice to have seen Angel Gomez or Mitchell on the bench. But as I said on the watch along, that's not Mourinho. I get a lot of stick because I back Mourinho with most things. I think he's amazing as a manager. But I did say when we got him, if you were expecting him to play the youth, he ain't going to do it that often. And in the League Cup, I'll tell you exactly what Mourinho's thinking. I can win this trophy. And then if I win this trophy, I've got at least 1 trophy in my cabinet at the end of the season again. He likes to win trophies. I'm sure he wants to win the Premier League. But to be honest, if we win the Premier League this year, which I think we can do, it will be a huge achievement. There's no guarantees we'll win it. We're not going to win the Champions League, are we? Let's be serious. And the FA Cup, can you really gamble on the FA Cup, considering that's the tournament that goes on towards the end of the season, where you might have to prioritise the league or the Champions League? The League Cup, the brilliance of that is you've got a massive squad for the first few rounds, because you haven't picked up many tiredness or injuries. And then the final's in February. So if you put a little bit of effort into the League Cup, you can win it. And I think that's why Mourinho has won so many League Cups, because he starts the season and he thinks, I've got a big squad. I'm going to take this seriously. It'll be over by February when the real stuff starts, and I've got a trophy in my cabinet. And I think that's the way Mourinho looks at it. Kartik says he'd like to see Victor Lindelof playing in the midfield. I think he needs to master his position of centre back before we start shifting him around, to be honest. And I'm just going to be very patient when it comes to Lindelof. I don't want to throw a new signing like that under the bus. He isn't performing well, but I did advocate the signing of him when we did it, and I just think at the moment he's not displaying any of the talent that he has. He's shocking under the high ball, like I say, and every high ball near him is a weakness, but Mourinho will sort him out. Mourinho's look what Mourinho did with Rojo and Jones. I'm sure he can do it with Lindelof, who actually is and was a very good centre-back for his country and Benfica. The Premier League is just something that he's struggling with, but he'll be fine, absolutely fine. Mark Crisp says Lindelof was dreadful and thought Shaw looked fat, arrogant and disinterested. Oh, say what you see, Mark. Say what you see. And Martial, man of the match, says Adam. Yeah, wouldn't have a problem with that. I don't think either goalkeeper was brilliant. Obviously Pereira, that thing at the end. It would have been nice to keep a clean sheet because we haven't conceded at Old Trafford, I think, for our last 6 games. But it was calamitous by the young keeper. But that's why he's playing, isn't it? To give him some opportunities. And Romero dropped one as well in the first half. I don't mean a trump, he dropped the ball. Bit of a UK saying there. But Kyle F8 makes a good point. These players need time, and it's still adjusting. And what a time to be adjusting with United. Herrera was class, says David. Very important that Herrera gets back. I'm a firm believer that actually, for United, in the absence of Pogba, Herrera playing like he did last year with Matic is better than Herrera and Fellaini. As well as Fellaini's playing, Matic and Herrera, with Herrera on form, is a better midfield too. It's better balanced. You've got, you know, what I liked about Herrera today is he covers the ground far quicker than Fellaini. He snaps into tackles, and then when he's got it, he's intelligent enough to play, you know, a killer pass. So Herrera probably won't play. I mean, we're going to do the preview tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, so join us for that. And a lot of it's going to be talking about Southampton. We'll get the tactics board up and show you the formations and how they play and all that jazz. But I suspect Fellaini and Matic will start at the weekend. I personally would probably play a midfield three because we're away from home and Southampton are better than they are. But Martial will be on the bench. I'll tell you that now. Martial will not start against Southampton. It was obvious with Rashford coming off on the hour mark that he will start. Mata will start. And we'll probably play Mkhitaryan and Lukaku and play with the same starting lineup as we did against Everton, which is quite risky away from home because the midfield could get swamped. But you know, Herrera, Martial, fantastic tonight. And what options they are. I'm sure if they play like that, they'll have to force their way into the starting lineup. But must be great for Mourinho at the moment. He's got so many players busting a gut to get in the team. He's got Zlatan trying to get back. You've got Pogba reportedly dancing. He cannot have a hamstring injury if he's dancing like he was on that video, if it's a real video of him recently. Because if he is, Mourinho's going to kick his arse. You can't be dancing around like that with that hamstring. So maybe Pogba's going to be back soon. People want to play for United. They want to be fit. And it must be great for Mourinho because, you know, he's leaving players out he'd probably like to have on the bench. He's putting people on the bench he'd probably like to start, but he's not got enough starting spots. This is what it's all about. And beat Southampton at the weekend. We'll beat Palace the week after. We'll go into the international break and we're still top. So good time for United. Scoring goals for fun, and it was an enjoyable game tonight. Had a bit of an exhibition feel about it, but actually a lot of players who needed game time got it. Loved it. Martial just on another level. The magician. Really, really liked it. Thanks everyone for watching. Drop a like on the video for us, and I'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We're at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Yeah, 8 o'clock tomorrow night with the preview. Speak to you tomorrow.